Hey guys, welcome back. We're looking into World of Haiku. We've done six different machines till now. We're looking into the seventh one. Seventh map, I think, this is the last one in Volume 1. The 7 also has two different machines, 7A and 7B. 7A is at Death's Door, I guess. 7B is Don't Fear the Reaper. So let's go ahead and look into the 7A. We have to access the mail server, access the proxy server, so on and so forth. I'm just noticing there is really cool stuff going on in the background, where if you hover over, there is some sort of a network connectivity architecture, and it's showing us the IP addresses. With that said, let's open up the chat. AGS, these guys are the largest computer component manufacturer in the world. They have their own nuclear fusion power plants. That's great. Millions of people will die if something goes wrong, so on and so forth. So that's what they are telling us. And the good news is Sorceress has been found. She escaped the Zinta 21 and she's on the way on the route back. The bad news is they probably know her location, I guess. And then there's just a bunch of chat. I'm just going to skip through the chat. Not really interested in all this stuff. Maybe we have to listen to Rascal, I guess. What does he was say? He was just talking about the Death Horseman virus, Pale Rider or Impaler. Whenever they talk about Impaler, I remember Vlad the Impaler from Wallachia, Romania, I guess. Very, very cruel king or warlord that fought against the Ottoman Empire. Really good story. Just Google Vlad the Impaler. All right, so this one talks about. Okay, so we are looking at Azure Stars server, and we probably have to look into information on that scale. So let's go ahead open the notes. I'm going to delete the notes that I already have. Maybe I'll create new notes. Looking into anything related to Azure server. So we have this IP address from Azure server. Let's go ahead and see if I can ping it. Ping 10.248.111.8. All right, I can ping it. There are two different information. One is the IP address, one is the username, which is our security word, which is KETNES. And scrolling down, I also find one username, which is, it says KNWU. So let's go ahead and see. Probably we might have to run an nmap scan against this IP 10.248.111.8. So we have 22 open, 80 open, 443 open. So I'm going to try and curl this, nothing. So it's probably going to be 22, which is SSH. So let me move into documents and let's see if I can, go ahead and do the password tracking. So Hydra, I'm going to use this username, KUNWU. Let's do a -L and then let's do a -P. So let's use different word list and see which one works. I'm going to start with rocky.txt. All right, rock.txt, SSH, and the IP address is, all right, 10.248.111.8. No password found. Let's use a different word list. Password med.txt, nothing found. Password txt med.txt. All right, so there is one credential found. Let's copy that. Let's create a new node. Let's call it M77A and let's paste in this information. All right, so let's go ahead and do something like at the rate the IP 10.248.111.8. So let's copy that. Let's see if we can log into that server. SSH. Let's copy the password, paste it, and then we are in. So we are done with the first machine. The next two ones are find access information for the proxy web server, access the proxy web server. Let's move into home. We have to find the proxy server. There are a bunch of different directories. Let's copy this, save it in our notes. we'll use it. So let's list what is in each directory. There is a mail directory, and then let's do the same for the second one. There is a mail directory again. Let's do that for the third one. Mail directory. Fourth one, mail directory. And then the fifth one, mail directory again. And I guess it's the same for Dong May. Alright, so there is mail directory for each user. So let's list what is in the directory. What is in mail directory? There is inbox and spam and trash. Let's look into each directory. Let's look into inbox. There is coffee thursday.xml. Let's look into sent. There is log pulls. Let's look into spam. Nothing. Trash. Trash has web server details. Let's read that. And let's just do cat. And this is giving us some information. Were you able to push those passwords updates for this IP? So let's copy the IP. I know the password was this, but we don't exactly know the username yet. All right. Now that said, let's go ahead and see what else is in the inbox. I think there was something in inbox for this user, which is coffee thursday, coffee thursday.eml. Cat that. Nothing really informative. So let's go ahead and see what is in send. There was something in send. I guess it was log or something. Okay, log pulls. So let's do log pulls.yml. Let's cat that. Nothing really informative. So for this one, it's pretty much it. So let's look into the mail directory of the next user, which is nedry, yes, however they call it. Paste that. Let's do an ls. There is inbox. Let's look into inbox. Inbox has current username.eml, which is nice. Current username.eml. Okay, we have to read it. So let's change that to cat. I wanted to request the username and password for employees in the report. Okay, so it doesn't really contain useful information. So let's look into sent. In sent, we have web server details.yml again. Let's look into that if it's the same information or different information. We have to change this to cat. All right, so we got some new info. Okay, this one talks about 1067. I think it's the same IP address, right? 1067.52 and 4 webstar AZS0. It's the same information. Why did that mission did not get over earlier? Because we found the same information in this directory, I guess. So let's see. It says access the proxy server. So we need to know what the proxy server is first before accessing it. So that's a challenge. Let's move to home again. And let's look into the other folders as well. Send spam was there. Trash was there. Nothing in trash, nothing in anything else. So let's look into the next user, which is Shang, Dad, or Tree, whatever. Let's collect as much information, right? Okay, I need to list. Sorry about that. List. In that case, I might also have to look into the previous users. Nothing in trash, just to verify, nothing in spam. All right. In Jiang Da Shui, however they call it, let's list what is in inbox. Nothing. Let's list what is in send. Nothing. Spam. Nothing. Trash. Nothing. All right. So let's go to the next one, Freeman Gordon. and let's look into his mail directory. So let's look into inbox, nothing. Sent, we have two files. Okay, so let's actually read those files. Looker.eml, let's caret. Nothing informative. What is the next file, which is supply request.eml? Nothing really informative. So let's look into spam, nothing in spam. Trash, nothing in trash. All right, let's move into this user. They have got some weird Chinese usernames. I mean, I would say weird, but hard for me to pronounce. Inbox, we have lookout.eml. Let's read that. Nothing really interesting. It talks about terrorist group, Agenda 21, whatever. Then there is dude.eml. You forgot your username to the OCP again. What the frick? Okay, nothing useful again. Let's go back. I want to list everything in sent. Sent has re dude.eml. So let's read that. Nothing interesting with my love. This looks like a figlet. That looks nice. Figlets can create arts like this. Spam, nothing. Trash, nothing. So let's go to the last user, Meidong. And let's look into the mail directory. Inbox. Inbox has few different files. Let's look at all of them. Supply request.eml. Cat that. Nothing really interesting. Log pulse.eml. Nothing interesting. re2.eml. re current username.eml. Let's look into the current username and then we'll look into the stuff later. Nothing interesting. Let's do re2.eml. Nothing interesting. All right. So let's go ahead and list what is in the other directories. Inbox is done. Send, we have dude.eml and then current username.eml. Nothing interesting. Nothing interesting again. Let's look into spam. And let's look into trash. Okay, nothing. So that's really all we got. So we have a, password for this and then IP for this. And if you go back and look into Rascal nodes, we did find something called KETNES. This seems to be a security word. It could also be a username. So let's consider that and see if we can log into this machine. So let's do that, SSH. Let's copy the password. I'm just guessing. What is the problem? Why am I not able to select this? Oh my god. Okay, web star AZS01. Alright, so we logged in. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. The machine is complete. 7A is complete. We are currently moving into 7B. We've done it in 13 minutes, which is quite a stretch, but we did look through all the files in the device. We need to move quickly. We don't have much time before AGS power plant goes critical. Okay, that's valid. We have 40 minutes to do this. And Rascal has been infected with the horseman virus. All right, so let's go look into what we have. cd into .dub cd into .dub, and we have a bunch of files. Let's read index.html. Just looks like a regular index page, nothing interesting. Let's move into proxy settings, and let's read the proxy.pac. All right, so we have a bunch of information here, and then okay, the Kera says pay attention. You don't need the help of Rascal anymore because Rascal is infected with a virus and it's corrupted. It's going to lead us in a fast path right now. So we will be looking into this ourselves. So let's copy all the information that we have, the IP addresses that we have. Okay, the proxy, this is the proxy, this is the actual machine. So we probably might have to figure out a way how to log into this machine. So that's there. Let's move one step back. Let's go to PHP admin, see what is in there. Nothing really. Let's move on to logs and see what is in there. Nothing really. Let's move on to AZ assets and see what is in there. Cat AZS logo.png. It just seems like a Azure star logo. All right, so what we have is only this information. And what we'll do is, okay, I don't need all this stuff anymore, so I'll delete that. Let's see if we can break into either of these machines. We already got into this machine, which is the proxy. So let's see if we can break into this, right? So let's actually exit out of this, exit again. So we are in our machine. Okay, let's see if I can ping this IP address. Okay, I'm able to ping the IP address. That's great. Now let's go ahead and do an nmap scan. 10.67.50.201. Scan returns 22 SSH open, 8443 HTTPS open. The device name is webserve. That is informative. So let's copy paste that. Now let's see if we can curl that. 10.67.50.201. Nothing. All right. So let's see. We probably have to log in via SSH. Let's see if we can brute force the username and password. In this case, I don't think we have a username. I don't think we have a password. Let's go with the word list. We have two username word list. I'll use both the word list and all possible password files to crack this. So let's do SSH dash capital L to mention the username file. Let's use the first one, which is username met.txt dash p. I'll start with rocku.txt. It's just a habit. And let's go ahead and give the IP address. Bad port dash p port SSH that bad port rocky.txt. Okay, so I shouldn't do SSH, I should do hydra. Hydra, no username and password found. Let's do a different word list. Password medium.txt. All right, so we got the username and password for this combination. Username is this. Let's copy that. Let's paste it here with an @ symbol and then the password below it. All right, so we have the login credentials for this. I'll also name this 7a/b. Okay, let's log into this web server, see what information we find. SSH, paste that. Let's copy that, paste that. We logged in. Now let's move on to www. There is a JavaScript file, script.js. Nothing really interesting, just a regular JavaScript file. Let's listen to style and let's read what it is. Again, I'm guessing this is a front-end CSS file. Yeah, it's basically the one that is making the interface pretty. Cat index.html. Okay, alright, just a regular index page. I'm interested in the admin directory. Let's do admin dir. There is something called Dennis. And there is a main directory. And there is archived. Let's read review.eml. All right, so let's just do a cat. Nothing really interesting. So let's look into logs. So cat logs slash int app access dot log. Okay, so this seems to be the access logs. um, Seems to be like a web request, so on and so forth. I'm not really interested into 400s. 400 is basically client side. Whatever is in 400 is basically client side error. 500 server side. I'm looking into 300s and 200s. 300s, 302 is a redirect. 200 is success. So let's see if we can curl that. Curl no route to host. All right. Curl no route to host. Okay, that information is dead to us. So let's move on to PHP admin cat dns.txt. All right, so we got some information. There is, okay, so we got all this information. Let's copy that. Let's paste it. And since there is, this looks like a username and password, I'll paste it here. DNS Azure Star. All right, so this seems to be like a password and domain name, so on and so forth. So before logging in, let's also read the rest of the file. Login.php. Looks like a login page. Cat. Okay, the web request for was probably to these files in the logs that we found 300s and 200s and 400s. Let's move into az assets. Let's cat azs logo.png. Again, it's just an Azure Star logo. Okay, anyway, let's log into or try and log into this machine. Let's copy this password first. Let's do SSH, paste that. Okay, we logged in. So let's see what is in net admin. So we have some zone details. Let's copy that, paste it, and let's read what is in there. All right, so we got some information. So let's copy all of this info. We have some IP addresses, we have a user password hash, so we might have to crack the hash later. So we have 3 useful IP addresses. I don't want this, doesn't really affect me. So let's go ahead and see what is in Etsy. Etsy has named conf, so let's actually cat that. Nothing interesting. And we have one more file, which is azure star local zone.txt. Let's copy that, paste it. Okay, so we have a bunch of stuff. Let's paste that. This could come in handy. 111.8. Do we have the IP address already? No, we don't. Okay, paste that there. Let's paste that there. 200, so on and so forth. All right, so we had some information from these directories. Where are we? PWD, we are in root. Okay, so that's all we got. We probably have to crack this password, see which we can log into. This one says gain access to SMB server. So I'm looking at what SMB server is here. So let's actually run ifconfig. All right, so maybe I will try and run an nmap scan against all of this and see if it's returning any name. This is web server. Nmap, paste that. This is web proxy. Nmap, paste that. Okay, this one is SMB. So this should be our target. So this should essentially be our target. What else? So let's actually find out what this is as well. Nmap, paste that. That doesn't have a device name, so the file has some IP address, username, and password. The individual created was very secure. Okay. So let's go ahead and see if I can crack this password. I don't know which web server it actually belongs to, but anyway, let's actually go ahead and crack that password. So let's do echo, and this is Shang. We'll redirect and save it to Zhang. So we have a file called Zhang. I'm going to feed it to John. John word list password med.txt and Zhang. Alright, it has cracked the password. Let's copy paste that. We'll keep that for now. And I also wanted to see if I can crack, if I can find information for the SMB server, because that's what we need to log into. Let's actually copy this and run an nmap scan. We see 22 open. Let's hydra it. Hydra -l username med.txt -p password med.txt ssh is the protocol. Nothing. All right. Password txt. I'm just using different word list. Password short.txt rocku.txt. Okay, nothing works. So let's do username txt met txt with rocku. Password medium.txt. Password txt. Password short. Okay, so we got the username and password for that. So let's copy that and let's save it. So it would typically be 10.57.50.113. So let's copy that information. Let's see if we can log into that. For pipe is the password. Okay, we got in. Now we have to find the username of OPC server, password of OPC server. So let's move into directory. Let's see cat ardbrk.txt. Nothing interesting. cd into finance. Earning ytd.txt. Alright, nothing informative. Cat fackrds.txt. Alright, so that's basically a lot of usernames and password hashes. Let's copy that. We probably might have to crack them. Now let's move on to empl records, which is basically employee records. Okay, let's read each file. Nothing interesting. Let's go next file. Nothing interesting again. 10 records. Nothing really interesting. MEI records. Oh my god. There are a lot of bugs in this game, I guess. Nothing interesting. NATRI. Nothing interesting again. Freeman, nothing interesting. All right. So we basically went through all the files and we did not really get anything apart from this password hashes. What I also wanted to see is if I can try and crack passwords for these servers apart from the SMB server and see if I can find anything there. So let's do that. Let's start with 201. Do we already have access to 201? No, so let's actually go ahead and see if we can do 201. Let's exit that. Hydra-l username med.txt password med.txt ssh 201. All right, so we have one username and password figured out. So let's actually go ahead and repeat the same for a different IP. I'm using the same word list, same username list, nothing found. Password txt password short.txt, nothing found. Let's also do rocky.txt, nothing found. Username txt nothing found. Password medium.txt, nothing found. Password txt medium, nothing found. Password short, nothing found. So 214, I think I already have access to 214, right? So this is the credential for 214 anyway. So let's ignore 214. Let's do 113. Okay, so 113 we have a username and password. 113 we already cracked. All right, that's fine. So 228, let's do 228. 228, password short, nothing. Password medium, nothing. Password txt medium, nothing. Username medium, nothing. Password medium. All right, so we have the access for 228. And what else? 31. So let's also do 31. Nothing. txt, nothing. Short is also nothing. Let's also do rocky. Nothing. All right. So let's go into user txt password medium. All right. So we have this username and password as well for 10. Okay. So let's log in one by one. I'm just going to log into the last one that I got, which is 106758. This is the username, so that would be @ and that. So let's actually copy that. SSH, paste that. Let's copy the password, paste the password, and we are logged in. Let's see what is in ESD. It has something called cooling system. Let's actually read this file. All right, so let's do cat pressure sensor dot configuration. Okay, this has some. This looks like an industrial control system, a SCADA network, where it contains information like this. So let's also look into the valve 2, see if we can find anything. Nothing. All right. Now let's see what else we have, because there are two different folders there as well. Let's look into the external water chamber folder. And then there are a couple of configurations, water pressure and water temperature. Let's look into that. Let's read it. Again, just industrial control system stuff. Let's look into water temperature file. Just looks like a water temperature. Let's look into what is in control net. Control net also has two directories. Moderator has a bunch of files. Let's read that. Read it. Nothing interesting. Let's look into the next configuration file. Permission denied. All right. Let's look into the next configuration file. And let's look into this log file. All right. What else? Moderator. Let's look into this configuration file. Just the temperature sensor. Okay, nothing interesting. So let's go ahead and see what else we have in the control net. Moderator. Okay, we read everything in moderator. Um, let's look into the cooling system IO, and let's see if this gives us any information. Nothing informative. Let's look into the other file. Nothing informative on the last file. Alright, so nothing really in the server. Let's actually exit out of the server because yeah, it is not useful. So 10675031, nothing really interesting. So um, let's look into 228. Let's copy that. Let's do copy that, SSH, paste that, copy the password, paste that. Alright, we are in. There are a lot of folders. Let's move into each folder. AZSNUC. There is an XML file. Why did I waste my time? It's all about reading files and files. Better support to command line utilities would have been nice. Okay. Let's read this one. All right. Let's move on to AZS MGMT. Let's read pen test findings. Alright, the pen test finding says eternal green vulnerability, remote execution of arbitrary code to gain access to a network by sending specially crafted packets. So it affects SMB version 1. So the parallel here is that there is something called eternal blue. There is also a family of eternal vulnerabilities like eternal synergy, eternal romance, so on and so forth. I think it was leaked by shadow brokers and also was used for the WannaCry ransomware. An exploit which was developed by the US government, I guess, for some reason to spy on people. Anyway, so we have some server information here, IPs and stuff like that. So let's have that saved. This is the findings of a pen test. So let's move into AZS OPS. All right, let's move into AZS internals, move into security. Let's get crash.txt. When a file is deleted, it is not really deleted. All right, we know that because the reference to the file is removed. However, the data is not really removed. Brute force attacks to uncover various passwords instead with server network. All right. So this server really nothing. 113. Did we log into 113? Okay, 31 is done. I just want to put a hash wherever it is done. And SMB1, right? SMB1. Let's move on to that. Did we log into that already? Just wanted to know. We logged into that already. Okay. Let's hash it. 214 already done. Okay, this is something that we might have to log into. Let's do 201. Blue Azure 0202 is the password. All right. SSH. So we logged in. I think we already logged into this as well. So let's hash that. So what have we not logged into it? 2 and 4 is done. 1.1.1.8 is done. 1.1.3 is done. 2.2.8. We logged into 2.2.8, I believe. Did we or did we not? Let's see. We logged into 2.2.8, so that was done. 200 is not done. So we need to find the PLC or OPC, right? Okay, let's look into these hosts. Dot 57, do we have a reference to dot 57 anywhere? So no. So let's look into these. Exit out of that. We're able to ping it. Nmap. We have 22 open. So let's see if we can hydra it. Hydra -l username met.txt -p password met.txt ssh, and then the IP address. Nothing found. Nothing found. Nothing found. Let's do raw queue. Nothing found. So let's do username txt med password medium. Okay, so we have a username and password for this one. So let's actually try logging into that. 1067.50.57 SSH. Let's copy the password as well. Alright, we logged in. So let's do applications, nothing. Look into downloads, look into documents, nothing. Trash, nothing. So essentially it's the downloads we need to look into. Let's look into saved emails. Come on. Saved email. Inbox, nothing. Send, there is one file. PIN, there is nothing. So in send, let's read patching.xml. It's catet P, capital P. Saved email sent patching.eml. I had journal be prioritizing the patch due to the recent blah blah blah. All right, nothing informative. So let's look into internal logs. Let's look into IM. Let's also read XML file. Okay, this is just a chat log. All right, so we don't have anything in this server. Let's log out. Let's try and brute force the host to hydra -l username met.txt -p password met.txt. Let's do the protocol. It's raining here. I guess it's noisy. Let's do different combinations. Let's do short. Let's do raw queue. Alright, so we have username and password for host 2. I also wanted to do look into PCL server. So let's change the IP to 31. So rockq does not work. Password med.txt does not work. Password txt medium.txt does not work. Short is hort short.txt does not work. So username txt medium does not work. Password med works. So let's copy that. And why does the notes does not work? All right, so let's paste it. 1067.50.31. Let's actually log into this. SSH that, and this is the password. We logged in. Let's look into ASD. Cooling system. Oh my god, so I think I've already logged into 31 before. Let's exit that. Let's log into 10.61.50.43 and see if we find anything there. What does it say? Could not resolve. 43 could not resolve. Why? Let's see if we can ping it. 10.64.50.43. I'm able to ping it. Let's do SSH. Could not resolve. Alright, maybe we'll log into one machine and maybe from there we'll try and log into that. Maybe it's an internal server. RTN is. Let's copy that. SSH could not resolve still. Alright, so I made a mistake in the IP address. It's 67. My bad. Copy that, paste it. Let's look into applications. Let's look into documents. Let's look into downloads. And let's look into trash. Okay, let's read the trash first. Okay, I cannot find it. Whatever. Memo budget.txt. Remote email gotten to update, whatever. So trash, we don't really have a lot of interesting stuff. Let's look into the downloads part. Saved emails, inbox, remember.yml. So let's read that. Alright, so we found the, what did we found again? Find the username of OPC server. Where is the username for OPC server? Okay, the username is this. Okay, this is what we have already. I think we've already found that. Oh my god. Okay, so where did we get it from? Remember.yml. Okay, from the inbox. And let's look into send. Let's look into bin. Okay, nothing. Okay, so downloads is done. Let's look into documents and let's do OPC internals, OPC internals memo cred.txt. We have to read it. Alright, so we also have the password found. Oh my god, so we've already found it through Hydra. Why do they do this? Anyway, so we found the username and password for OPC server. Now what exactly is OPC server? Is this the OPC server? I don't know. Okay, anyway, let's move to applications. Nothing in applications. Okay, let's actually try logging into this again and see if we have the Forsman virus there. Cooling system. Okay, nothing there. Control that moderator. Let's try and read this file, because last time when I tried reading that, I got an error that I don't have permission to read that. It still says I don't have permission to read that. What exactly is the problem? And what is the OPC server? So do you have any information on the OPC server? Rascal say anything? Hey Rascal. Okay, no Rascal. Rascal is corrupt. Rascal is done. So I only have 3 minutes. I have to stop the virus. So where is it? Oh my god. ECL server. Anyway, I'm just wondering, maybe this is the horseman virus. Let's, because it doesn't allow us to do stuff. Let's try. All right, so that seems to be the virus. That was luck, because I remember that it was throwing an error before, I think 10-20 minutes ago, and then the mission is done. I think the volume one of the World of Haiku is done. It has been fun playing this. The game would still improve a lot, maybe in the volume 2 and volume 3, so on and so forth, how much ever is yet to come. It's a really nice experience to play this game, and I'm planning to make more videos on other different platforms like Hack the Box or Try Hack Me. So keep in touch. Thank you so much for staying up with me. Possibly, see you guys in another video. Thank you so much, and a subscribe to the channel would be great. Thank you guys. Bye bye.